How do you live in your I do
You gotta
when
choose
you don't?
to go back to the I do.
Ooh.
Come on.
Oh, what?
Ooh, that was good. You gotta choose the I do.
Even when you don't. Alright, y'all. Hi. Welcome to our channel. We are finally back with another video where we're just kind of sitting down, talking in front of y'all, with y'all, whatever. Today's topic is about, like, why do we sign up for marriage? As you can see by the title, like, why do we sign up for marriage? We could have just been boyfriend and girlfriend for the rest of our lives, but we chose, or Handmaid's. We just got done watching Handmaid's Tale. If you don't watch Handmaid's Tale, you should watch it. It's going to be a little bit hard to start off in the first season, but as it progresses, it's really good.
So good.
And so, yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about why we chose to get married. I feel like for some people, marriage is like the thing that they want to do. And for other people, they're like, I have no interest in getting married. And that's fine. Whichever way you lean is fine. We just want to share our why. So why did you want to get married?
I think I got married because of who you are.
No, just like in general. Why did you get married? Like when you were younger, were you like, oh, I really want to get married? Or it just happened like...
Well, I think I've always wanted to be like forever committed to one person. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how I was brought up. I wasn't brought up in monogamy. And so it was one of those things where once you get married, you're with that person for the rest of your life.
You weren't brought up in monogamy?
No.
Do you know monogamy?
Okay, maybe I got this all wrong. But anyway, no, I didn't, polygamy, is that what it is?
Polygamy, it's more.
Oh, yeah.
But that's like a whole lifestyle, so that really wouldn't fit either.
Yeah. Yeah, I just knew I wanted to be with one person, I think, for the rest of my life. But
why couldn't you just be one person?
It was society. It's what I grew up as. As a Christian, you're always told that you're supposed to be with one person. And if you really love that person, then you get married. So I would definitely say it was my Christian beliefs.
Interesting. I don't know if that's what made me want to get married. I don't remember, like, growing up, like, oh, I can't wait to get married. Like, I don't think that was ever, like, I just know that I was never a little girl, like, planning her dream wedding, and I don't know, I just don't think it was a thing.
Yeah.
But then as I got older, I thought, man, it would be so cool to, like, spend my life with just one person, celebrate successes with one person, like, build with one person. And I feel like I have a lot of patience, but I feel like I really don't want to have to deal with a bunch of people. Like, so the idea of having someone new all the time or trying to figure out somebody else and not having consistency and security. I'm really big on security. And so I feel like by being married, I have security and I can feel secure. Whereas just dating and not being married but just having like a boyfriend doesn't necessarily equal security.
No, not at all, especially with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, I was a runner, was a track star.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. So the next thing is like why. So we talked about why we want to get married in general, but why do we want to marry each other? And because security was such a big thing for me, it was kind of taking a risk. Risk.
There you go. You teach English now, don't you?
It was kind of taking a risk marrying him, but I think I chose him to marry because I saw the potential of where he was going, of what he could be. And I feel like there's a lot of talk now on social media about, like, do you marry somebody if they're not where they are, but because you see their potential? Whatever your opinion is about that, maybe we can talk about that in another video. But I was like, where he is like now isn't where he's always going to be, and he has such like a Like you just have like a mind of ideas and dreams. And it's like when you say something's going to happen, it just be happening. And I was like, I know for a fact, he may not be consistent in some stuff. He might have ran away in the past. But when times get hard, he going to figure it out. He going to hustle. Like, bills are always going to be paid. I'm always going to be okay. My children are always going to be okay. And you want to build a life with somebody like that.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you were kind of like showing, it was like a preview when we were dating of what you would be like as a husband in a married relationship. I was like, I can do this. Like, he's not where he needs to be yet, but we can grow together. And if I'm going to grow with anybody, I definitely would choose to grow.
You knew I would get back in that trap and go break down them bricks.
Yeah.
I ain't never
But you never did.
I never saw that day in my life.
But you never did.
I would say, man, you know, thinking about why.
Yeah, went in there.
Thinking about why I married you, I think that I chose you to be my wife because of what you bring to the table, right? I think it's very important that you find somebody who balances you. You're very much so about the details, and I'm not. And if I know,
I don't like that. Sometimes I feel like.
Now I feel like.
In all things?
I think that
sometimes
I think I'm learning. I think I learned from the Enneagram, right? That like certain numbers are for certain reasons, right? And but with me, I'm such a broad thinker, right? And you have taught me how to really break down my plans and my thoughts and you know, things like that. And so I think that you know, I don't think that you were you wasn't what you are now back then, you know, when we got back together, and I think it was a risk for me too. I think that when you marry somebody, you're taking a risk.
Heck yeah,
right? Because people are forever changing.
And why would you sign up to take a risk?
Right.
Like the idea of, I think we were listening to a podcast. Who was it? Maybe it's Belief in Fatherhood that always says, like, the idea of marriage is insane.
It's insane.
Especially if you get married at, like, a young age and the person, you know the person's going to... First, you're signing up with, if you get married at a young age with somebody who's young. Second of all, you're signing up for what the person is now and hoping that you're still going to love and accept what they are the next year, the next 2 months, and you're saying, hey, I'm committed to you from where you are now to your change, whether that's good or bad.
Ooh, that's
and I'm only going to come home to you every single night.
That's
what? There's so many people out here. Like, why would we sign up for this?
Yeah.
For me, I think it's security. Like, I feel like if you're somebody looking for security and like consistency and just like, man, like I want to build a beautiful like legacy in life for future generations. And I know that I can do that with this person.
It's exhausting entertaining multiple people.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine being in a
polygamy.
Like,
what's up with you in this polygamy today?
No, I'm just talking about like I couldn't imagine because there's some people out there that keep saying
this fly followed us.
This fly followed us in
from
here.
the kitchen to in here.
Look, there are some people out here who are being monogamous, who seems like they want to be monogamous, but they're really practicing polygamy. And so my thing is, it's like...
It's people that signed up for a monogamous marriage and are in a polygamous relationship.
Yeah,
and not by choice. Like, it's not like they signed up together, like, we're going to be in a polygamy, and I think it's called a polyamory.
A polygamous.
No, there's a difference between polygamy and polyamory. Miss Kev on stage told me that. Or Mrs. Melanin. Not quite sure.
I thought it was Kadeem.
Or Kadeem. Clearly, I listen to a lot of podcasts. There's a difference in that. I can't remember which one, but they're not. But you mean like they're not signing up for that? They're signing up to be monogamous, but they end up in polygamy.
Right. And my thing is, it's like I don't think I ever desired that. Right. Like I don't think that I ever was just like I want to come home to one. I don't like sharing. Like a lot of people think that I am very vulnerable to a certain level but only Jasmine knows me to a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
right? She knows me deeper than anybody else does. Mm-hmm. And so I can't imagine giving that to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe when I was younger, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I could see that. But then it's like, no, that is dry. That would be dry. I couldn't do that. And I know that.
And some people are good at it and they enjoy it.
Yeah, some people are good at it. That's what you choose. Yeah, that just wasn't for me. That's not me. That's not for me. That's not for my personality. No. I grew up with my mom and my dad at home, and so I saw the good and the bad of all that, right? And so, because nobody's perfect, but like, my thing is like, I knew that I always wanted to come home to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you need to be married to do that, but I think there's a level of commitment when you get married.
But a lot of people are like, what does signing that paper do?
I think it pulls you into a different. I think that it pulls you into a different level of commitment. Like, I don't think.
Me too.
I don't think that you can fully. Well, I don't want to say that you can't, but I would say most people would be able to fully give themselves in a relationship or a deal, right? If you don't have anything to lose. That's why they say the best attention is the one that you pay for. That's why I would never do anything like there was somebody who said that they did a show, or not a show, but they did like a what's those little things that you go to and they have speakers and
like a conference?
Like a conference, right? And the guy had a conference and his friend was like, You're my friend, just let me get in for free. And the guy was like, no, because then you won't take it serious. You see what I'm saying? When people are not in a committed relationship, a lot of times they're not taking it super serious because I can always get out. Why do you think most people don't buy a house? Because they love the fact that, well, in the next year if I don't like this house, I can just go. They're not thinking about
when you sign that mortgage.
They're not thinking about the wealth that you could build with the house, right? We got people right now, you know, making $100,000 and they've only lived in a house a couple years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't do that when you rent, right? That's why most people. That's
they don't make a profit off of rent.
Some people do leases. Why? They don't want to commit to. It's a lot of people that just don't like to commit. They want the option to leave if they don't want to, and they don't want the whole hassle of having to split this and do that and do that. But for me, you know, my pastor Mike Scruggs back in Cincinnati said, you know. He said, man, look, your life should be so entangled when you're married that he said it should look like a knot so that things are so knotted up to the point that when you think about leaving, you don't even know how to get out. You just, you know what, it's going to take me more work to leave than it would for me just to work it out. And a lot of stuff can just be worked out. You know what I mean? People want that temporary pleasure of going out and finding somebody who meets their needs at that point, and
I think when you do that, like that temporary find is exactly what it is, temporary. Like that person can meet your need right now that you're sad, and in this job, and in this city, and in this state of mind. But can they meet your need in 2 months when you lose your job and you got to move back home and you're not in a good state of mind like you were before? And so I feel like you have to make sure that if you're going to get committed and married to somebody, that person can see you and support you in all of those seasons. Yeah,
and also too, you know, I would let a lot of people know you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, I'm not knocking anybody who want to live the lifestyle they want to live.
Yeah, we're just saying what we think.
Yeah, what we think. I would tell you this: whatever decisions you make, be okay with the consequences. Right? Like, I knew that marrying you came with a lot of good things, and it could come with some bad things because we're not perfect, right? And it could come with some bad things. And I just took that risk, and I was okay with the consequences. Whatever we had to struggle through, whatever we had to kind of get through, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I told you that from the beginning. I said, at this point, when I say I do, I'm here with you until you say, till you just don't love me no more. Like, you don't want to fight for us no more. You're just like out doing your own thing. You're living single. You want to do at that point, I'm gonna be like, okay, maybe I should start looking out for myself. That would be the only reason that I could see that I would ever leave.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that when we were boyfriend and girlfriend, there were a lot of different things that I was thinking about, like, well, this will make me leave, and this will make me leave, and da 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 da.
But you're committed.
I'm committed. I'm committed now.
Because you paid for it.
Yes.
But you don't really pay for marriage.
You do, the wedding. But my thing...
But if you go to the courthouse, then you just pay for the actual license.
Yeah.
Which isn't that expensive.
Yeah, which it's not that expensive.
That's probably why everybody's getting married all willingly.
Yeah.
Because it's not that expensive. Maybe it should be more expensive to get married.
But I also learned, but that's why they make it so hard to divorce.
You gotta pay for it.
You gotta pay for it. When you split stuff 50-50 and you gotta pay all those lawyer fees and stuff, it ain't gotta be that expensive, but you pay emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The money, you can make that back. It's the emotional stuff. And I think that marriage is designed that, like, I feel like when me and you got married, we were like two pieces of glue. Like we had that little rolling glue,
A glue stick?
The glue stick. My bad. You got the glue stick. You put it on one piece.
You ain't been out of school that long.
Lord,
I know
Jesus.
you 49, but you ain't been out of school that long.
You're not gonna sit up here and make my age seem way up there. But taking two pieces of construction paper, then you let them sit for a second, and then like when you tear them apart. Mm-hmm. There's pieces of each other left on each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, because it's not supposed to come apart. It's supposed to, you got to try to work that thing out. But, man, for some people, they can't. And I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
If
you don't want to.
Yeah.
I think some people are like, I don't want to be stuck to somebody like that.
Yeah.
We wanted to be stuck to someone else forever. To do all the things with. To build together, to go on vacation together, to clean up the house together, buy houses, buy cars. Like, we wanted to do that along somebody. Now, I will say this. If people are only looking to get married, because like we said, it's a risk. It's money. It's crazy. So for people that may just be looking for a companion, but not a commitment,
go get a friend.
Go get a friend. I heard there's a lot of cool people on dating apps. I got friends on the dating apps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there you go. I think those are for companionship, but commitment, that's a whole nother. You have to be kind of crazy to be committed in a marriage. We are so sorry. Probably this whole video, y'all are gonna see this fly flying away. But
yeah, if I can keep it in here and try to starve it out, I'm gonna do that.
But it is taking us a long time to sit down and do this video. So you're just gonna have, maybe the fly is giving
somebody
great input about this marriage thing.
Yeah.
So I just kind of said, like, if you want a companionship and not necessarily commitment, then maybe marriage isn't for you. Was there anything else that you feel like maybe if you don't like this or you don't do well in these type of situations, marriage might be a little bit difficult?
I think that if you, because I think it all depends on who you get.
You're right. Who are we?
I mean, like, I think it all depends on who you get. I would say do your best to figure yourself out before you get married, so you know who will complement you in your marriage, right? I think that's what it's about.
Commitment and compliment.
Right. And I don't think that you have to take on that other person, but there's qualities in that other person that will rub off on you and make you a better person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily get lost in that person, but I know what they mean when they say that we become one. Mm-hmm. Because there are certain qualities that I have and certain qualities that you have, and that we both have those same things, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and I feel like it's made me a better person, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I used to be late all the time. Now I'm only late sometimes.
75% of the time.
Sometimes. That's not all the time, is it? 100% would be all the time. Mm-hmm. 75% is some of the time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so, I mean, thinking more the way I handle money.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
The way I communicate. No, I'm not communicate because I communicate.
That's more me learning from you.
Yeah.
You communicate fine. You haven't learned anything about it. He hasn't learned anything about communication from me. Have you?
I've learned to take my time.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, oh, you gonna get this work.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, no, really consider her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Does she really, even though, in my mind it was, even if I don't fully understand what she's upset about,
Mm-hmm.
can I at least try
Mm-hmm.
to understand it? You know what I mean?
Slow down and try.
Slow down instead of
Yeah.
being quick to go on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah, I guess we really can't tell anybody, like, if you like this or don't like this, maybe marriage is for you.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there it is. Guys, the fly is on the camera screen. Brief intermission. Hurry up, babe. Hurry up, hurry up. Oh, God, don't knock the camera over. Hurry up.
Okay.
Bloopers.
Let's just go ahead and get this, because we got to get this fly.
We do gotta get this fly. So yeah, we hope that we just wanted to just briefly, not a really long video, but just explain like why we chose marriage. We do recognize that marriage is like this crazy thing to sign up for.
Mm-hmm.
It requires a lot of commitment. I know for a lot, we would consider ourselves believers and Christians, and so I feel like for a lot of Christians and believers, it's like the thing to do. Like, you have to get married. If you don't get married, then you haven't done all the things in life, whatever. But people don't really talk about how much of a risk it is, how much commitment is required, like how hard it is, how you really have to know, do I actually want to marry that person to be committed for them, or do I want them for companionship? And so I think people get bogged down in that. Yeah, I think people get bogged down in that, and they get married because the church or whoever told them to, and they're like, but I don't want to actually be committed to this person. Like, I don't actually know why I want to marry this person.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just wanted to share why we want to get married to each other, why we chose marriage. I don't think we feel like marriage was forced on us. I personally don't feel like marriage was forced on me. I could have gotten married or not, and I don't really think people around me would have cared.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah. And so it was something that we chose. We weren't forced in by a church or by family or anything. And when you are able to choose that path for yourself and then also choose who you marry, like, that's super powerful.
Always choose.
Although, but what would we say about the successful couples from Married at First Sight? They weren't able to choose. But once they got married, they were choosing to love them
they
daily.
chose.
You right.
Because some of them didn't choose, huh? Yeah, come on. And that's the reason why the season ended a little early for some of them couples.
You're right. Even after they were at the altar, they still had to. And you still have to choose even after you say, I do. Like, I feel like that's when the most
I don't.
comes. Because sometimes, and what do you do when you don't? How do you live in your I do when you don't?
You gotta choose to go back to the I do.
Ooh.
Come on.
Oh, what?
Ooh, that was good. You gotta choose the I do.
Even when you don't.
I'm about to get up out of here. Cause you just
don't wake up, Cairo.
That's me rubbing off on you right there. See that slick talk? Okay, y'all. We done.
That might have to. How do you choose the I do when you don't?
Man, all right, y'all. Goodness gracious. See, this is why we're for each other, because we bounce ideas off each other like that, and then I throw a little something in, then she throw a little something in.
Look, I'm thinking of a whole thing. My mind breaks.
Yeah, y'all. All right, we gotta get up out of here.
Because people don't talk about that. People don't talk about choosing the I do when you don't.
It just sounds so good rolling off your tongue. And okay.
Thank y'all for watching this video. Hopefully it gave you something to take away. Maybe we were just rambling and we were just talking, but either way, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for walking through this marriage journey with us. The next video is probably going to be called How Do You Choose I Do When You Don't?
That just sounds so good. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody.
And if you use our line, add us in it.
If you use the tagline now, don't be disrespectful. Tag us in it now.
Us to go watch the video Walking with the Williams.
Yeah, and for all
on YouTube.
Yeah, and for all of our married couples out there, leave down in the comments what's one thing that you had to choose in your marriage. It could be something on the daily, right? Huh? Doing laundry.
What is an
dishes.
example of you choosing the I do when you don't?
That's gonna preach, babe. That's got to be a book.
I know. I might have a gift.
You might have a gift of titles. I think that's a thing. You can make that happen.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.